Hi, my name's Jeff. I'm an instructor at PingCAP. In this demo, we're going to go through and show you how to load some sample data into TiDB Cloud. It's really simple. All the data is set up for you. You can go to a web page and see it, and I think you'll be pleased with what you can do with it. So the first thing we need to do is have a cluster. So you'll notice I've already created one. My cluster's name's Cluster 0, and it's brand new. I've not used it for anything. So the first thing I need to do is go over here to the three dots and go to import data. And in this example, we're going to import an SQL file. This is not the most performant way of loading data, but it's a very good way to load demo data because we actually have demo data set up to load. So you'll see this website here, and the important thing to note is over here in our TiDB screen, we need a bucket URI and a role ARN from Amazon. That's the cloud provider we're on. And fortunately for us, some console at PingCAP has already set this up for us. So we'll just cut and paste or copy paste. And I'm hitting copy paste right now. And then I'll paste it in, go down to the other one, and do the same thing. Marvelous. All right, so we've got it copied and pasted into there. We see our target cluster, Cluster 0, and I just happen to be running in Northern Virginia because I'm on the East Coast. You can run it anywhere. And now it's validating the data and scanning the data. So what this screen is going to tell us is that we have a 151.2 megabyte file. It has a couple of create schema files, and total data files are 3. If we scroll down a little bit, see this SQL files are pretty cool because it automatically knows that the table to be imported is the Bikeshare database and the trips table. We could ignore tables if our import file had a bunch of them that we didn't need, but in this case we've just got the one, and at the end of this process we will have a new database and a new table. So let's go ahead and click next. And what we're doing now is we're building preview data. Now in the real world, if this were not a test file, you would want to come up here and take a look at all the sample data and make sure that it was correct. I was asked in some classes, how can you tell it's not correct? Well, sometimes it's difficult, like if the numbers look reasonable but aren't the right numbers, so you'll have to know your data on that one. But the vast majority of the time, you'll just see junk in here. You'll see things like control characters, and if you see control characters, you know something's off. All right, so we've looked at our data, and we're ready to start our import. And I don't know if you can hear it or not, but naturally here comes a leaf blower in the middle of the video. Fortunately, it's at a great time because this takes a few minutes to run, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this, or as a previous boss used to say, Jeff is going to use the magic of Camtasia performance tuning here. So we'll see you in just a second. And we're back. Notice it took 4 minutes. You can look over to the left and see down under time spent it took 4 minutes. And once again, these files are not performant and it's not set up for performance, so don't really judge it. You can also tell, other than the leaf blowers back, that we succeeded. There were no warnings and there were no failures. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to run a query and just validate that this table is actually there. So what I'm going to do is go up to Cluster 0 again, click on it. Here you can see some performance information on actually running the load there. So pretty cool to know. In a real environment, this would be important to you. But for right now, let's just go and validate that it worked. So we're going to the SQL editor, And notice I have a Bikeshare database there that's new, and I have a trips table. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I want to use the database, use Bikeshare, and then I'm going to say select count star from trips. Very complicated query. Remember, our goal here is just to validate that it worked. So highlight it all. And there we go. We see our count down here. We know our data is in there, and that is, from experience, that is the right count. So what's the big takeaway from here? The big takeaway is, if you don't have one yet, go get you a free TiDB Cloud account. There are videos on the channel to describe how to do that. I'm having a hard time talking. Log in, load some data, play around with it. This link or this web page is really good. It describes, this in detail. And it's also worth pointing out that our documentation is over here as well, and it's pretty good. So let me close before the guy gets back closer with the weed eater. Thank you for taking the time to watch the video, and if you don't mind, subscribe to the channel. And one more thing, if you're interested in PingCAP training and certification, you can point your phone at the QR code and go to the pingcap.com/education website and find out more. Thank you.